I want you to prepare for next Sunday when I complete the sermon, okay? Now, there's an old saying that says you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can if you put a lot of salt in the oats. So when they get all that salt in the oats, they get thirsty. And they'll, please get me something to drink. And you can drink. What I'm doing now is salting you, okay, for next Sunday. Okay, here's the question I want you to answer. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with your life? And more specifically, are you satisfied with all that God is for you in Jesus? Where are you? Are you satisfied in your Christian life? Now, the verse that I would like you to say and read once a day is this: godliness with contentment is great gain. Godliness with contentment is great gain. The reference is 1 Timothy 6:6. We'll try it again, okay? Together now. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Again, godliness with contentment is great gain. Now, we want to deal with the whole subject of godliness. What does that mean? And then there's the subject of contentment. Contentment. I want to tell you a story, and I want you to think through this story. And perhaps some of you have heard it before. There's a youth pastor in Chicago. This is a true story, and he worked with his children. He worked with young teens and young college students. And they were in a nice church, a busy church, a growing church, and a believing church. And he liked to work with gangs in Chicago. So one Sunday afternoon, he decided that he was going to take these youth that he's working with, and he's going to take them down to the backside of the city of Chicago and have them meet with the gangs. Well, they were a little scared about that, but they said, we'll try it. We're going to witness. We're going to tell them about Jesus. So they're walking down the street, and this teacher, he said to them, now I want you to know something, that these people in the gangs, these children in the gangs, are experts in figuring out who's a hypocrite. They know, they can see a hypocrite a mile away. They'll know it. So I have something to tell you. By the time we get to the end of this block and turn the corner, that's where the gang will be. And if you have any unconfessed sin, it's time to get it ready. Get rid of it right now so that you won't be labeled as a hypocrite. So they ran around the corner, and sure enough, they met the gangsters there, and the gangsters said, okay, well, listen to what you have to say. So some of them were telling about Jesus and telling how important it was to be saved and have Jesus in their heart and life. And finally, the leader of the gang said, it's my turn to talk now. And he said, okay, stand up. So they all stood up in a line. And he went down and he looked at each one of them. And you know what he said? He said, you have peace. You have no peace. You have peace. You have peace. You have no peace. No peace. And they were over. The meeting was over, and they went back to the church, and the students asked, well, how did they know? What are they talking about? We're all believers. And he said, just be very careful that you are strong in your commitment, especially if he said you have no peace and no contentment. And you know what happened? They went off to school that year. Then next summer, they came back, and they wanted to go visit that group again, visit the gang. And guess what? The ones who had no peace no longer believed in Jesus, were no longer part of the youth group. Only the ones that had peace. So I think it's very important to understand, how could that person sense whether you have peace or not? You know, some Christians don't have peace. What is it that we can do to have peace? Because godliness with contentment is great gain. Now, so for this week, I want you to think about how you would put this message together now. You've had the illustration, and now we have the verse. So what does godliness mean? And what does contentment mean? Because I want to see all of you in heaven. I want to see you make it. Our Christian walk is for the long run. It's for eternity. So please, please, think about, are you content? Do you have peace? And it's no mistake that Jesus was named as the Prince of Peace. The Prince of Peace. I'm talking about the inner peace that God has for us. Okay, that's the half message. I hope you're salted enough to read it and study it. Godliness with contentment is great gain. And that would be 1 Timothy 6:6. And did you put it up? Way to go. The guy's brilliant.